Okay, now you need not to enter the table space name and everything, and enter the Microsoft Windows Latin one as a code page. So we'll understand what is a code page is all about. So code page is just like a character set in your database, how you use it. And here you have two options. Content exists under the specified connection string. Do not create a new content. What does that mean is that already in this schema, you have already the repository metadata tables. Don't create again. Don't create again. So if the metadata tables are not available, this is the first time that you're creating a repository on your server. So then you have to select this option. No content exists under a specified connection string. Create a new content. What it means? It will create the new tables in the database. So now here we have two types of repositories. One is a global repository, another is a local repository. So if you have to create a global repository, you can select this, else you can ignore this. And you can also select this option, enable version control. So version control, just remember this property. Version control repository will help you to store the multiple versions of the same program. It is just like a versioning control tool, something like a CVS, SVN and all. So select this option and then click on finish. So when you click on finish, it will automatically start creating the metadata tables in your schema, whatever you have provided, or in your Oracle schema, whatever you have provided. So I have selected a no content exists and click on finish. So as soon as you click on finish, it will start creating first it will enable the service, and then it will start creating those metadata tables in your repository service. It is enabling the service now. See now, it says that creation of service contents in progress. What does that mean? It is service of creation contents in progress. So it is started creating the tables. So earlier when I have queried my Informatica schema, I didn't have any tables. Now if you see, it has created all these 381 tables, or still it will create some more tables, 411, and it will create around 511 tables, right? So all these tables, whatever you have, all these metadata tables will store all your ETL programs. So ETL programs, whatever you create, source definition, target definition. So this information, source definition, target definition, mapping information, you have mapping and the sessions, workflows, everything will get saved onto, whatever you do, everything will get saved onto repository database. But repository database. So this is how you create a repository service. Now I have a repository service. If you see, the repository service is available. By default, whenever you create a repository service, your repository service will be running in the exclusive mode. Your repository service is running in the exclusive mode. So in order to change the repository service exclusive mode, if the repository is running in the exclusive mode, you can't connect to the repository service. You can't connect to the repository. So it should be run in the normal mode. Then you can ask the question, what is the point of keeping the repository in the exclusive mode? So what is the need of it? So the repository, if the repository is in the, see, whenever you want to migrate the code from one repository to the other repository, and you want to make sure that no developer is connected to this, then you can keep the repository in exclusive mode and then migrate it. So maybe during the code freeze time, you can convert your repository to the exclusive mode so that nobody will touch it, nobody will change anything. So that is the use of exclusive mode. So when you go to the repository properties, select it, edit, and it should be running in the normal mode. Select the normal mode and click on OK. It will automatically restart the repository service and run in the normal mode so that you can make a connection to it. So all these 511 tables are nothing but your metadata tables, which will be used Informatica metadata repository metadata tables, which will store. These are all the pre-created tables. It is just like a normal table. A lot of views also are being created. So everything will get saved onto here. This will store users, this will store groups, other will store different workflow details. Everything will get saved onto this. So that's why if the repository database is down, Informatica will not function. Informatica will not function at all. So you need to make sure that the repository service is always up and running, then only the Informatica will work. Now I'm restarting the repository service. That's how you create a repository service. That's how you create a repository service. We'll see. So it's running now. I have a lot of repositories on my machine, so it will be a little slow. I have to delete all these things. So under a single domain, you can have a n number of repositories and n number of that's based upon your license. So when you are buying it, your license based upon the license number, you can create that many amount of repositories. So when you go to, if you have to see how many repositories and what is your license is all about, you can see here. So this is a Informatica expired some non-expiry license and the production. It supports 14 logical CPUs and it supports 255 repository instances, not more than that. So if you see, the repositories are 255, not more than 255 repositories you can create using this license. So the 255 repositories I can create, not more than that. So license information and what are the services that are being created in this using this, and the different options will be there under the license. And what are all the databases it supports? ODBC, Oracle, Teradata, Power Exchange, SAP, Power Exchange for Siebel, everything is there in this one. Likewise, so what are all the connections that you create, and everything will be available. So that is how you create a repository service. Always you need to make sure that your repository service is up and running, then only you can connect. So it says that repository service is available, and you have a lot of other properties. We'll keep checking these properties whenever we start working with a Informatica. That's how you create a repository service. Now you have created a repository service. How to create an integration service? How to create the integration service? One repository service can have a multiple integration services. One repository can have a multiple integration services, but one integration service can be associated only with one repository. Only with one repository. Now, how to create the integration service? Same way, be on the domain, go to actions, click on new, and then you have something called as a Power Center integration service. So select Power Center integration service. Here you have a name. What is, so I'm entering the name as int_3dev. So select the license. So whatever the license that you have, and the node. So it is also possible that repository service can be created on one node and the integration service can be created on the other node as well. So when you have a multiple nodes, you can choose it. So that's why if you see, if you are creating a repository service and the integration service on the different nodes, repository and integration will communicate to each other by using the TCP/IP protocol. TCP/IP protocol. So now you select the node, whatever the node that is available, and then click on next. So Power Center repository service, you have to select the repository for which you are creating the integration service. I'm creating the integration service for info big_dev, select it. Here, when it asks for the username and password, you should not enter the database username and password. You should enter the domain username and password which you have used to log into the repository, Informatica administrator. So here the username what I have used is an administrator and the password is also administrator. So I have entered this is the domain username, not the database username, So select administrator and click on finish. So when you click on finish, so it will automatically ask you to associate with a code page. So I'm associating with a Microsoft Windows Latin. So once the integration service is created, by default integration service will be in the disable mode. So just enable the integration service. So now this completes your creation of a repository service and the integration service. Right. So now you have a repository service is available and the integration service is also available. So I have a lot of repositories integration service. Okay, this one is not available for some reason. So whenever the service is not available, it will be in the red color mark. If all the services are up and running, then it will be in the green color mark. If you just mouse over it, it will say that whether it is running or not. So if you say that this is an invalid, it is failed with this reason. So whatever, some initial storage it has not encountered, and then it is errored out. So this is how you create a repository service and the integration service. Yes. So if you have any questions, please go ahead now, and we will discuss about how to create the users in the Informatica, and how to create different other folders and everything, groups, permissions, that we will discuss. Yeah. Go ahead with your questions now regarding the architecture part.
So in a given machine, can we have multiple domains?
No. On a single server, you cannot have a multiple domains. You cannot add it. Only one domain can be defined on one server.
Nothing but like, can you go back to the architecture page where you are in the PowerPoint?
Yes.
So you said like usually when in real-time scenario you just have the client side on you and you will not look at any other domain or other part of the architecture, right?
Yeah, you'll not have a permission as well. I mean, when you join as a developer, you'll not have a permission to log into the Informatica administrator homepage. It is completely maintained by the admin guys.
Okay, so if you go in as a developer, you will just work with the 4 tools, the client tools, right?
Yeah, only client tools, not the Informatica administrator homepage. Yeah.
What about the server? Like, I just have a doubt because, like you said, if Informatica wants to work, we have to install a database, right?
Yes.
So should a client side should also have a local database?
No, no.
Then they don't need any?
No, nothing. So client is just connects to the server using a TCP IP. Whatever you are saving, whatever you are doing, it will automatically be saved onto your server database. Client side, you don't need any database. Whenever you are installing, you just install the client and configure the repository and then work with it. That's it. No database is required when you are installing the client.
Okay, so if a company so if a company works in Informatica, like the developer will be working on the client tools and the admin will be maintaining the server side, like the integration services and the repository database, everything, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Right.
Okay, and then the information source, it means the database where information is stored. Like if we use the tools, we can access the data from the source database and we can make manipulations and it can be stored in the target.
Yes, using
everything done by the developer, right?
Yes, everything is done by the developer. So using these client tools, you'll create the programs, you'll schedule the programs, you'll execute the programs, and you'll monitor the programs. These client tools.
Okay. For the server and the database is it's installed in our system just to practice.
Yeah,
Usually it will not be there.
It will not be there in the real time.